The man was moving intensely on the bed. After he finished, he looked at his girlfriend, who was exhausted and lying on the sofa, and broke into a satisfied smile. But just then, a large group of FBI agents stormed in. They pinned him to the ground and immediately slapped handcuffs on him. It turns out, the man had been reported for illegal drug trafficking. Sure enough, the FBI quickly found a large stash of drugs and cash in his house. They even discovered 2 AK-47 rifles. With charges of drug trafficking and illegal possession of firearms, his chances of bail were gone. However, Jimmy arrogantly claimed he had the best legal team. Soon, Jimmy was sent to jail. But he wasn't worried at all. He believed his father, a police officer, would bail him out. But his father's words finally made him feel a bit of fear. It turned out that because of the illegal drug trafficking and possession of heavy weapons, 2 serious felonies, according to local law, Jimmy could be facing life imprisonment. However, his father reassured him, telling him not to worry. He had already reached a deal with the prosecutor. If Jimmy pleaded guilty in court, the prosecutor would work to reduce his sentence to 5 years. If he behaved well in prison, he could be out in 2 or 3 years. Jimmy couldn't accept the idea of going to prison. But to get out quickly, he decided to follow his father's advice. But things took an unexpected turn in court. Although Jimmy had pleaded guilty right away, the judge insisted that both charges were serious felonies. Jimmy had broken the law knowingly. So, the judge sentenced Jimmy to 10 years in prison. That's when Jimmy realized the prosecutor had tricked him. But it was too late to do anything about it. Months later, Jimmy was suddenly taken to the medical room by the prison guards. FBI agent Lauren and the prosecutor who had tricked him before were waiting for him. It turns out they had found that Jimmy had been doing well in prison. Not only was he getting along with all the prison gangs, but he had even started his own business in there. So they wanted Jimmy to go to another prison and approach a suspect who had allegedly murdered 14 young girls. They hoped Jimmy could extract evidence of the murders from him. If Jimmy helped solve the case, they would apply to reduce his sentence. But despite the temptation of freedom, Jimmy refused. He had been tricked by the prosecutor once before, and wasn't sure if this new deal was another trap. Hearing this, Lauren didn't argue. She simply left the suspect's file with him and left. A few days later, Jimmy's father came to visit. Jimmy told him about the prosecutor's offer, but his father became extremely agitated and urged Jimmy not to take the deal. He reassured Jimmy not to worry, saying he would find a way to get him out. However, tragedy struck. This time, it wasn't his father who came for the visit. It was Jimmy's stepmother. She told Jimmy that his father had suffered a stroke from worrying about him, and his condition was now very serious. He might not make it until Jimmy was released. Jimmy was deeply concerned about his father. After some thought, he opened the suspect's file. What he found was truly horrifying. The suspect had not only killed numerous innocent girls, but he had also hidden their bodies, making it difficult for the police to solve the case. Thinking of his father and the innocent girls, Jimmy decided to accept Lauren's request. He would go to the prison and get close to the killer. But what he never expected was that on his first day at the new prison, he was forced to strip naked in front of the prison guards for a routine check. After going through the standard intake procedure, Jimmy was finally placed into the